Welcome back to our channel. I'm Callie.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Bean.
So today we are going to talk about our July book of the month. It's a little late, but we got there.
We did.
Eventually.
So the book we read is Bloodleaf by Crystal Smith. And we will go over our reviews first, talk a little bit about what the book is about, and then go into spoilers, and we will warn you when we go into spoilers. I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed the banter and the characters of this book a lot more than the plot, and I am more of a character-driven kind of reader. So that's why I gave mine 4 stars.
I'm between a 3.5 and a 4. I enjoyed the story. I felt like I could immerse myself in the story, but I just felt like something was missing and don't know where the series is going.
And I gave it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was an enjoyable read. However, there were many different plot holes. I felt like the characters were kind of just thrown in, and there were too many things that I just didn't connect to and couldn't really get over.
So this story follows a princess named Aurelia who has magic, and in a town that is basically in its Salem witch trial phase. They are killing any woman who they even think remotely has magic, so her country hates her. They kind of know she has magic or suspect that she has magic, but since she's the princess, they haven't been able to act on it. So Aurelia is sent to the neighboring kingdom to marry their prince, to marry the kingdoms per normal plot. And the people also hate that because that kingdom likes magic and uses magic. So they just hate her.
Yeah. Poor thing.
Yeah, poor thing, a little bit. So we follow Aurelia, and there's betrayal and things where she then has to kind of live as a commoner almost and realizes how deep her magic goes and has to save the world. Because YA fantasy.
Because that's all you do in life.
That's all you do is save the world.
Yep.
This poor world just keeps getting in danger.
It does. So this is the first book in a trilogy. This book came out in March of this year.
We were mostly interested in it based on the cover. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, for sure.
It was
for
just
sure.
so
It's very pretty.
Well, and I feel like for me it was also partially interesting because I have seen this around BookTube and around
true.
Instagram and stuff, but I never hear anything about it.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know what most people thought of it. And then it's like, all right, well, let's just read it. Why not?
This was 100% cover buy for me. 100%. I saw this book, the cover was revealed last October or November on Goodreads. I saw it and was like, ad.
I thought the synopsis was really interesting too, just like the idea of where the story was gonna go was kind of interesting to me, plus the cover. I just also feel like it fell flat.
Well, it was also, it's said to be a reimagining of the Grimm's Brothers Goose Girl tale, which is one, I've heard of the tale, I know the general synopsis of the tale, but it's not one that I've seen redone before. It's not Beauty and the Beast, Ariel, Mulan.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, it's not like a general one that's constantly being remade. So I found that really interesting. I think I loved Aurelia. Aurelia is probably one of my new favorite characters in YA. She wasn't, as much as her country hated her, she wasn't whiny about it. She sort of took it in stride and was like, this is my life. Whatever, I'll do whatever I need to do to help my brother do better on the throne, help my mother, who's the queen, do better on the throne. This is what I have to do, this is what I have to do, which I found kind of refreshing in a YA, because usually these kind of princesses are whiny and I don't wanna, and she wasn't. She was like, okay, sure, which I found different. And her banter was great.
I will agree with you on the banter part. I liked the idea of her character. I don't think she was well fleshed out. I think she was made into this. She was just written as this character, and then she was.
She didn't develop.
She didn't develop at all. There were way too many plot holes for me. There was way too many holes in her character development for me to feel any real connection to her.
That's fair.
I just felt like something was missing the entire time with all of the characters. There was some character development. There was some relationship development, but otherwise it was just like these characters fit in this mold and this is what they were going to do, and everything happened, and then the story ended.
That is the only other non-spoilery. This is a standalone. It feels like a standalone.
Yeah, it definitely. This is something we will all agree on, where we have no idea really. Well, we have ideas, but
have a theory.
You have a theory, but we don't know what could possibly happen in the second book.
It was
This was wrapped up very neatly.
It was wrapped up very nice. It had a cute ending, which was great. But then I was like, okay, what do you mean there's 2 more books?
Yeah, now what?
I don't understand.
Yeah.
So I'll read them.
Probably.
But,
maybe
they're
we'll
still pretty.
Kind of depends on what the next 2 books are going to be about. Will determine whether or not I'm going to actually read them.
So I think that's enough for the non-spoilery stuff. So we're going to go into spoilers. So if you want to read this book and have not, you can. This is it. End of video.
Click away.
Go away.
Bye.
Bye.
If you have read this book and are interested, we have theories about what Greythorn's about, where the story could possibly go. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the major reveals and how we feel about them. So I think we can delve into theories first.
Okay.
Theories. So the book, as we mentioned before, the book ends. It ends.
It's done.
It's
the story is done.
They defeat the bad guy. There's a hinted love interest thing that
hinted. They were making out on the last page.
Yeah, there was that. She saved him. They killed our bad guy. We have 2 new kings popping up.
Yep.
They got the nice little mother-daughter moment in the afterlife thing.
That was weird.
Which was weird.
But
I've seen happen before.
I have too, and I was a little put off by that. I'm not gonna lie.
I was happy that they put it there. It could have been done better, but
it should have been.
Everything wrapped up, and it's and we're going home. And then I'm like, okay.
And your 7-year-old brother is now king.
Now what?
That bothered me.
Yeah.
Well, that's realistic.
It is realistic, but it's like one of those stuff. Okay.
Well, originally that is the plan, was she was going to marry the prince on the other land, and he was going to take over, but it wasn't going to be, bam, that time.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be years from now.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know. I guess
magic-y thingies happened, and there we are.
Yeah.
7-year-old king.
So we're a little unsure as to where Greythorn's going.
Yes.
So Brittany has a great theory
does.
that I'm going to be a
Guys.
little mad if it's not accurate.
So my theory is that we know that Callie was stabbed by Taurus, and we assume that he's dead, and then he really isn't.
Lo and behold, he came back.
He comes back, and so my theory is that Greythorn follows that part of the story, is how he becomes, or how he's healed, how he becomes back to normal, I suppose, so that it's his older brother that saves him is the one that has the healing magic, but it isn't revealed until the next story, and that's how they tie in the different magics that's how they tie in the different magic part of the systems, that he has the healing part, and we kind of get the more background, the development, and we kind of go along, and it's more of a dual timeline, and then they merge at the end, and then this third book kind of goes into the last magic.
Yeah, the after whatnot, maybe a little time jump, 6 months after the events of books 1 and 2, and they're actually, the kid is king with some advisor, maybe Aurelia, I don't really know. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping it's in Kellen, or maybe Kellen's brother's point of view, because it is called Greythorn, so,
Yeah. Which they kind of introduced that right away, which I felt was kind of weird. This is his name. Okay, so the next book's going to be about him.
Yeah.
So it's is there, or are they setting up for a love triangle? Or
God, no.
I really hope not.
Please, no.
I'm over it.
So don't want a love triangle. Going off of that, the magic, as we kind of talked about, we only get information about one, and that's the blood magic, because that's what Aurelia has. So we don't know anything about its nature and healing. I think. I
We're
can't be
pretty sure.
positive
The
because I
only
don't
thing-
know.
The only thing we know is that blood magic cannot heal.
Yeah.
It's all we
Yet
know.
she kind of
That she
heals.
does.
So this was kind of one of my big issues with this book. There's just so much unexplained.
Yes.
And Aurelia goes from living in a world where she's not allowed to use her magic and she's just kind of trying to figure things out, and there's little mentions every so often of what she's doing wrong. And then she goes to this other town and suddenly she's an expert in it. And they're like, "Here, do this." And she's like, "Okay."
Yeah, it happens really fast. It's not explained great, which was annoying. Like I said, I really liked it. I gave it a higher rating because of the characters. I liked them a lot. I liked their interactions. Yeah, plot-wise, I'll admit there were some holes. Big ones.
There were several plots that seemed to be started, at least for me. I feel like we didn't get any time in the first town. Like, I feel like we needed more time in Renault. And I feel like there could have been a whole book just kind of that goes off of these witch hunts that we're hunting in Renault. Feel that, like, they talked about it, yes, and that's why she left, yes, but it still felt really glazed over. It felt like she started and then was like, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
It felt rushed. Like, that whole part of this, like, the introduction on why she was hated felt rushed. And we didn't really get the reason why until kind of the end, when they pretty much said, well, usually the daughters are just kind of shipped off in the middle of the night, and you don't even know that they have a daughter until...
Yeah, that was weird.
It just felt like it was unique.
And even when they explained it, it didn't fit.
They also didn't explain why they decided to keep her.
Yeah, they kind of did. At the end, they did.
A little bit.
But I didn't like it.
No.
I didn't like their explanation at all.
I mean...
It seemed like a cop-out.
A little bit.
For writing that.
I like that the author explained why they did, but I also felt like it wasn't needed.
True.
It was just the connection of, the little baby has the same color eyes that I do, and that's why there's this connection. I'm like, oh, okay.
I will say,
cool.
The concept of the Bloodleaf was probably one of my favorite things about the book, besides the characters that I really liked.
Yeah.
I really loved how the Bloodleaf worked, how it was sacrificing two people to save one. I loved that concept and how just the first blood caused death, because the way the Bloodleaf works is when blood is spilt on land, this ivy thing grows, and when you touch the Bloodleaf ivy, it's poisonous. But when blood is spilt a second time, this life-giving flower blooms. So two people have to die, and it's not just like a little bit of blood, it's a lot of blood. So I really liked that concept, and it was constantly mentioned, which I really like because it showed how rare and why it was important. It might have been even mentioned a little too much because it was the title and, on the cover. But I really liked how that worked into the story.
I did like that. I don't like, and this is complete spoiler for the ending, I don't like the role it played in the end with the death of the one dude.
Dan? Or Torres?
No, Torres.
Oh.
Torres. It made no sense to me that they're like, okay, well, here's this healing plant. Well, we're just gonna suffocate him. How come she can control this flower and these vines all of a sudden? Like, this is suddenly, she's like, well, now I was the tower, and now I am killing him with vines. I'm like, what the...
It was a little weird.
It didn't fit. It felt very... Again, I have to go with it. Felt like a cop-out that he needed to die in order for the plot to advance, and so he died.
Which I feel like he didn't need to die if there's going to be 3 books, because his whole thing was summoning this goddess lady, this evil goddess lady, which if she's the one who ends up being our overarching big bad, the whole plot of book 1 does not matter.
AKA the first book is pointless.
Yeah, which is kind of silly to me if she does end up becoming our, big bad, because then, someone else went and summoned her. It's like, or all 3 books going to be similar, where 3 different people are going to try and be summoning her, and we have to stop them, because then it's going to feel repetitive.
Yeah, and then it's just the same plot.
Over and over, but again. Maybe with the different types of magic and how...
Or with a different point of view.
Yeah, which I don't really care to read about.
If it's that, honestly, I probably won't read it.
Yeah, that's fair. I would agree
because
with that.
then I would just get so annoyed, and it would feel pointless,
It
in all
will.
honesty.
So-
I'll read it, too.
So I think we probably won't have Greythorn as a book of the month next year. It'll kind of just be something we do on our own. I don't think we've found a series that we'll read. So we'll probably individually read it, potentially, maybe, when it comes out next March.
I'm the most doubtful.
I'll read it, because I liked it and I want to come back to these characters. And
I liked her story. I just don't want
I liked her.
It might take me a little bit after the release. Like, it's not going to be something like I go out and grab right away and start reading right away. It's probably going to be something like, it depends on what the story is going to be following. Like, if it's going to be something that I have no interest in, I might not read it.
Yeah, maybe
So
once
we'll see. I'm up in the air.
Once the synopsis maybe gets
If
released.
I read it, I will borrow Callie's copy.
Yeah.
I'll probably have my own because the cover's pretty.
Cover is
That
really
is
pretty.
true. The cover, it does look gorgeous.
It
I will
is.
never deny that.
Mm-hmm.
No, it does not. So, for the month of August, our August read is actually a contemporary this month, and that is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. So, we will all be reading this in the month of August at some point, and in some point early September, we will do another talk. So, you can look forward to that. Currently, I am doing a reread of Sea Witch by Sara Henning because Sea Witch Rising just came out this past month. So I've picked that up, but I want to refresh my mind because I did read this when it came out last year. So I kind of want to refresh her before I read the sequel.
I'm currently reading Four Dead Queens by Astrid Scholte, and I'm obsessed with this cover. I went out of my way to stalk some of the resale pages on Facebook so I could get the Owl Crate because look at this cover, it is gorgeous. And I'm just obsessed with the story. I'm not very far into it. I think I'm like 140 some pages in, and it's really good, and I'm really enjoying it.
And I am currently reading Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, which is the first book in a high fantasy novel about assassins, and there's dragons, and I am 5 pages in.
So that is all that we have for you. So thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.
Write down below whether or not you've read Bloodleaf and what you thought about it, anything like that. We'd love to hear your opinions as well. And if you want to be notified whenever we post new videos, hit the bell icon down below. We post videos Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
And be sure to follow us on Instagram, our individual handles, and our joint handle will be linked down below, as well as our Goodread pages.
And we will see you in our next one.
Bye!